So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, happy Friday, wherever you are, or even if it's early Saturday for you, always happy to see you guys. Today, Bogdan and I are going to present on a very interesting topic, which is leading in IT and the difference between the Scrum Master role, a Project Manager role, and a Product Owner role. And let me know if you can see my Miro board.
Yes, we can see your Miro board.
Wonderful, thank you, Bogdan. So today we're presenting together, as I already mentioned, Bogdan and myself. If you don't know me, my name is Aina Eliav. I am an Agile and Enterprise coach with about 10 years of experience in the industry. And Bogdan, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Bogdan. I've been working, now I am Project and Program Manager in Accenture. I've been working for Accenture almost 3 years. Before that, I was working in project management environment in many different projects in many different countries. So in total, I have more than 13 years experience in project management. And now last 4 years, it's agile ways of working as a Scrum Master in safe environment and Agilist, etc. Everything around that.
Thank you, Bogdan. And for those who just joined today, we are going to talk about three different professions in leadership fields, such as the Scrum Master, Project Manager, and Product Owner. And despite the fact these are three totally different roles, unfortunately, in the organizations, especially who are new to Agile, these roles are mismatched, and we can see hybrid frameworks as well, where Scrum Master is a hybrid with a Project Manager, or sometimes Product Owner is a hybrid with a Scrum Master, or sometimes Project Manager is a hybrid of a Product Owner. I've seen lots of these hybrids and variations, and this causes confusions to the other people who never worked in Agile or who worked in Agile but had different confusions in their organization. So this is kind of like the most challenging and the most heated question I receive during my regular Friday lessons learned. So that's why Bogdan and I decided to bring some clarity on these roles. And we decided to do it.
Maybe I can add in this case as well that this topic came from our experience, and actually a lot of industries, a lot of companies, we are receiving a lot of questions regarding those roles, the specific, the people sometimes missing the meaning, the initial meaning of the roles, etc. So when this topic came definitely from our experience, and we think it's very relevant to our respectful audience.
Absolutely agree. And we decided to bring some clarity starting from the framework, because before talking about the roles, we need to understand what framework we use. For example, if we use a project management framework, which is waterfall, maybe we even don't need a Scrum Master or a Product Owner. Or if we use a pure Agile, we might not need a Project Manager. Now, Bogdan, would you like to start talking about the predictive approach?
Yes, so this came from the last PMBOK version, and the PMBOK actually PMBOK provided us those classification between types of framework, and we see this very relevant for modern world. And this is exactly what is happening. And the industries and the project, they are not in the spoon. They're not in the space separately. Yes, so they just it's not a separate. So it means that we might understand what we are going to do, which framework we are going to implement, and it doesn't matter what is your role. But we are here fighting that all of us, we are educated and we are aware with the what we are going to do. So based on that, we need, first of all, we need to rise the top. We need to understand for ourselves in which framework we are working. Yeah. So if we are following the classical traditional PMI approach, for example, or IPMA process or principle oriented approach. So this is the one way. Yeah, this is the the clear understanding, we will show next steps, what the first steps for project manager might be during this approach. So if we are in the organization which has project predictive approach and or agile ways of working, it might be so okay. But if we part of agile ways of working, so this is a little bit different approach. So different roles, different understanding, different responsibilities, and how we are going to perform within the agile ways of working. It doesn't matter this agile framework, Scrum, Kanban, XP, Clear Agile, Lean, whatever it can be, but it's very important to understand. Or we are part of the hybrid framework. Yeah, it's project and or portfolio management techniques or technologies, program management technologies based on the, again, PMI, classical umbrella, PMI umbrella, portfolio programs, projects, or agile, scaled agile framework, LESS framework, Nexus, Spotify for scaled agile, etc., etc. So, and this is before we are describing the roles, what you're going to play. It would be really great if you understand the framework which you're running in the organization. Aina?
Yes, thank you, Bogdan. I was messaging to folks who are unfortunately unable to join, but looks like they are here. So, like, when we are clear about the frameworks, we can start talking about the roles. So we are talking about Scrum Master today, or SDM, Service Delivery Manager. Sometimes you can see this title in some organization, Product Owner and Project Manager. So in a simple way, the Scrum Master is focusing on the flow, which means flow of the right things being done the right way. But it doesn't mean micromanaging or controlling. It's just feeling the pulse of your team, knowing what is happening inside your team, and also what processes are used in your organization, and making sure that everything is flowing. Yeah, definitely you will have dependencies, blockers on your way, but it's a Scrum Master role to make sure that they are resolved and still the work is flowing. The product owner is focusing on value, so doing the right thing, compared to Scrum Master, who is focusing on flow of the right things. But we need to know the right things to make sure they're flowing. And the role of the product owner is to know the right thing and to do the right thing. And project manager is kind of like an outsider in this crew, because he or she is focusing on the direction, on going to the right direction, compared to Agile, where we have a North Star, but we can pivot in our direction or even change the North Star if it's required based on the customer feedback. In project management, no, we have a direction, we need to follow it. And here we have leadership focus and management focus. So these two guys, Scrum Master and Product Owner, they are on the leadership side. And it doesn't mean that the project manager doesn't focus on leadership, but again, it's a different framework. So in Agile, main focus is leadership, meaning we focus on people, empowerment, effectiveness, doing the right thing, direction, principles, communication. And in project management, we are focusing on management. That's why it calls project management. So we are focusing on tasks, control, efficiently, doing things right, speed, practices, command. So here again, we are focusing on the right things. In project management, we are focusing on doing things right. And I see Bogdan was mentioning other roles, and I'm going to get back to it shortly. So when we talk about project management or Agile, sometimes people ask, is it possible for a project manager to be a Scrum Master or a Scrum Master to be a project manager? Yes, there are pros and cons of that. It's like, imagine we are learning how to dance, or we have professional dancers. So we have professional dancers who dance waltz, and let's say this is project management, because waltz for me it's more like unstructured, conservative, need coordination. And we also have jazz, which is also dance, but jazz is independent, flexible, improvisational. So if the person knows how to dance waltz, it might be easier for them to train how to dance jazz, because your body already used to exercises, you know some moves, you need to adjust. But there are cons in that, because you're used to your waltz moves, you're used to the structure. So it's going to be harder for you to adjust compared to the person who never danced at all. But again, for the person who never danced at all, you need to learn like the basic of dancing from scratch. So the project manager can be a Scrum Master if he or she is able to adjust their moves to a new way of dancing. And the same for the Scrum Master, like from being independent and flexible. If they learn how to be structured, they can be a project manager. But in a transformation, it's when you play waltz and jazz simultaneously, and that's why any transformation is that messy, because we need to adjust and we need time to adjust from one dance to another. But let's talk about what Bogdan just mentioned. So Bogdan, would you like to explain?
Yeah, I'm trying to make our session a little bit interactive. I see our good friend Vladimir's joined. Yeah, welcome. Nice to see you, Vladimir. And actually, yeah, a few questions I want to raise. Aina, maybe guys, please join us as well. So we are discussing. So this is the first question. Why we are covering only Scrum Master, Product Owner, and Product Manager? What about others? So we don't respect other roles like Product Manager, Business Analyst, Portfolio Manager, Change Manager, Solution Architect, etc., etc. Yeah, there are many other roles. And this is the first, I'm raising this topic. The second one, roles versus responsibilities. We can call wherever we can. Yeah, we can call, I know, Mr. President, yeah, president of the project, the role, we can create this role. But what does it mean, those responsibilities? And this is exactly the case, what we're trying to share, that it doesn't matter really the name of the role. It's much more important those responsibilities, what you're going to cover, what the organization, what the industry expect from us. Yeah. So, and in this case, one more time, it's crucial important to understand in which framework we are working. Yeah, and crucial important to understand the different roles and different responsibilities in each role. Yeah. So can we have product management in traditional project management framework? Yes, we do. We have. Do we have the product manager in agile ways of working? Yes, we do have. So, but other differences, different responsibilities might be yes. Same for business analyst. Yeah. Do we have both business analyst applicable for those two roles, two frameworks, agile and traditional? Same portfolio management, change manager as well, solution architect, technical architect, whatever. Yeah. So, and this is the crucial importance, dear colleague. We can call whatever role we have, yeah. But what the responsibilities? And it's crucial. And of course, if we don't know, if we are trying if we don't know what the expectation from this role, what we need to do. The first of all, we need to go to the framework and have a look what the framework understand on this framework. If we are running classical traditional PMI project, we have role product manager, for example. Let's read what is the expectation from the framework, what's the expectation from the organization, and let's start build step by step the match those responsibilities between framework and between the organization. And of course, to avoid chaos in the organization, also this is our authority as a smart and educated people. Those who is here, they are smart by default, yeah, if they join this call. So it means this is exactly, we are smart and we need to understand that those first basic steps, what we need to do. instead of start fighting for responsibilities, try to understand everything what we need before that. Yeah, this was my few cents on it.
Exactly. These were beautiful few cents. I wish everybody provided such sense to us. So roles we play in the organization. So as a Scrum Master, we are servant leaders. And I think you guys heard this term, servant leader, not service leader. It means we are resolving and removing impediments and blockers, but we are also building the bridge, and that's why I created this picture. It's not just removed from what we keep hearing from other different sources. We are building the bridge between like team members. First of all, we are building the team. We need a team to work together. We are building the bridge between team of teams. We are building the bridge between the team and the stakeholders, the team and the leadership, because leadership needs to understand what we are working on right now, what our blockers and why we can't do constant releases. For example, sometimes they just take phrases out of the context. They watched few YouTube videos and like, yes, in Agile, people release every day. It's impossible for us to release every day. Let's release every week, let's say, but the processes are not established. So the team is working for like 16, 20 hours nonstop to satisfy this 1 week releases, and the leadership believe like we are Agile because we have constant releases. No, it's not Agile. It's a shame. Sorry for being so candid. And the Scrum Master role is to make sure that everybody understands what Agile is, what we work on, and building the bridge between each part of the organization. The product owner is the person who provides us the North Star. Yeah, having bridges, it's fine, but we need to move somewhere with those bridges. And the product owner identifies where we are moving and what we are doing. What is our ambitious goal, what problems we solve, and what value we are going to bring to our customers, because we don't just build products or projects for the sake of the product. We need someone outside to use them. And imagine everything is on time, everything is on budget, we have releases every week, we deployed the product, nobody needs it. So was it profitable? Was it valuable for the organization, for the customer, even if we were on track and even deliver it prior to the deadline? Nobody buys it. So organization is still in debt. So we really need to have an ambitious goal and to make sure that we pivot if we see that there is no value in our product. And the project manager is the person who is right way to get to the goal. So if we have a clear goal, we don't pivot, we just go there strictly and directly and get our metaphorical cheese. Bogdan, do you have your few cents?
Yes, I always have. So in SAFe, I really like what's in SAFe Scaled Agile framework written about those 3 different responsibilities between product owner, Scrum Master, and the developer. So the product owner is responsible to build right things. The developer is responsible to build things right, and the Scrum Master responsible to build things fast. Yeah, and it's really interesting, and it really shows the differences of responsibilities. And even in Agile team, I can share from my experience that when you're joining the Scrum team and they're saying, you are Scrum Master, we need to report to you or something like that. Or we have quite high experience product owner, so it means everything we need to go to product owner, align with him, etc., etc. And I am as a Agilist, yeah, I'm always trying to say that, guys, there is no manager in Agility, there is no who is has some preliminary ownership of something, etc. So each of us, we have separate roles, and we need to perform as best within our separate roles. Each of us has its own responsibility and how we need to perform in our team, yeah, and we need to focus on it. And this is kind of mindset, and we need to always remind our great colleagues about this great differences between product owner, Scrum Master, and developers in the Agile team.
So let's speak in a bit more details of who we are and what our role is. So I will start with a Scrum Master. So as a Scrum Master, I am accountable for, as I already mentioned, a servant leadership approach, and make sure that Agile practices are enabled and values and principles of Agile are known, first of all, understood, and implemented in the organization. So I facilitate progress to flow of work and value. And by this, I mean, I support my product owner with backlog readiness. I support my team with meetings, commitments. If we are in the physical place, I make sure that the team has space to talk, for example, stand-ups or other ceremonies. So I book a room, I provide them the space, but it doesn't mean that I have to control them during the meeting. Sometimes Scrum Master even is not in the meeting, but the team is collaborating and updating each other. But it's my role as a Scrum Master to make sure that they understand the value of Agile, that they are self-sufficient and independent, and understand that meetings and conversations are for them, not for me or product owner or someone else. So I drive improvements and innovation, meaning I am allowed to say no to the leadership if it doesn't make sense. I'm allowed to say no to a product owner if they provide something that doesn't make sense for me or from an Agile perspective. I cultivate Agile behavior, culture, and maturity. Again, what I just said, the team is mature enough to run ceremonies without me. They understand their value. They understand that it's not a waste of time. It's for them, not for a Scrum Master. The team is also allowed to say no to the stakeholders. So, for example, we have business stakeholders who jump into technical side and try to teach people what they need to do from the technical perspective. And I know that many senior technical people do it and then complain after the work hours that what they were asked doesn't make sense. But when I ask, but did you tell the stakeholder that what you're asking doesn't make sense from technical perspective? I'm actually a technical guy here. So what I recommend is first, second, and third. And it's like, no, because that person told me, so I do it. And no, it's not Agile culture and behavior. In Agile, if something doesn't make sense, we tell it right away. Otherwise, the organization will lose lots of money for something that doesn't work or customers don't need. So I schedule, facilitate effective Agile events, as I already mentioned. I facilitate and drive resolution of team impediments. And I also coach the team and leadership in Agile way of work, Agile mentality, culture, and behavior, and make sure that my team is reaching a stage where they become self-managing and self-sufficient. Bogdan, you are making zombie.
Yes, yes. I really like this. Let me start first with the roles. Which roles are I see close from my experience to Scrum Master is in SAFe. We have release train engineer, or chief Scrum Master, even in many other frameworks. We have Agile coaches as well. And also sometimes, for example, it happened in my career. So technically I was a Scrum Master by role, but my responsibility was sometimes I needed to perform as a Agile coach. Sometimes I was kind of chief Scrum Master, etc. So also we need to know that it's not limited. And one more time, roles versus responsibilities. We might have the Scrum Master role, but those responsibilities, we can increase our level of responsibilities. And also the crucial here to understand and to know, to follow the Agile team, cross-functional, self-organized, self-responsible. And this is exactly the spirit, the culture that we should we don't need to be afraid to pick some additional responsibilities on us. If we feel that we can perform more, we can increase our level of responsibility, let's do that. Don't be shy. Let's do, and let's follow that. And do you want me to describe mechanical or zombie Scrum right now, or after the product owner? Let's after the product owner.
Yeah, let's finish with the roles and then go back to
Okay.
zombies.
Yeah.
Okay, so the product owner. Now, my accountability as a product owner, first of all, is define the vision, objective, roadmaps, be an inspiration for my team, provide ambitious goals, kind of like a mini Steve Jobs for my team. Well, I also represent stakeholders and my customers' needs by providing the product backlog, and I play kind of a glue or like translator role between my team and the business stakeholders. Because, for example, business speak business language, they count in money, they are focusing on numbers. IT people, they also focus on numbers, but their focus is on different numbers. For example, if I go to the business person and they would tell me, you know, I don't like the way this application works, it takes me like a long time to open my online banking page, let's say that. So I need to make sure that it opens faster, otherwise I can't log in because my login already expires, so make it faster. Okay, clear request? Yes. I checked the online banking application, it really takes long to be uploaded. I go to my IT person and says, like, look at this, it takes too long, I want to make it faster. And the IT person would look at me and like, are you in your clear mind? What is the requirement? What is the acceptance criteria? What do you mean faster? 2 seconds, 30 seconds? And makes sense. I need to go to the business person and ask, would 2 seconds satisfy you? And they would be, I don't care. I want it to be open and I don't want to wait for it. I go to the IT person and said, he doesn't care. And the IT person, but I still don't know what to do. Tell me what to do. So you see what kind of mess is already when the product owner is not able to translate these two languages. So as a product owner, my role is to understand what business person wants and to make sure that I can help them sometimes to explain what they want. And also, I understand my IT people, my team, what they need to be able to make this product live and make sure that there is no tension. So when I go to business, I know how to speak to them. When I go to my team, I know how to speak to them, and I make sure that they understand each other. Now, I also facilitate alignment between stakeholders and the team, like acceptance criteria, as kind of already mentioned. I maximize the value of the product and service by prioritizing it and what and when. Again, an example of the Clubhouse, which was very popular a few years ago, but it had some limitations. For example, people weren't able to share files there or do some other activities. So, and it was mentioned to the Clubhouse owners like a few times during town halls, and probably people kept messaging them, but they didn't prioritize those requests. So companies like Spotify and Twitter, they create kind of their own Clubhouse inside of Twitter and other platforms. And so they implemented those requests and people just move to the other platforms. So maximizing the value of my product is my main priority as a product owner. Leading requirements such as backlog readiness, validate teams' output and outcomes, also part of my role. And in scaled environment, my role also is representing sections of a product or customer experience. Bogdan?
But Clubhouse made it the most important mission. Because of Clubhouse, we actually meet each other, yeah?
Yeah.
We met each other in Clubhouse. So it's so this was the mission of Clubhouse for us, at least for us. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. But yeah, definitely, I agree what you're saying. One more time, the Agile team, the product owner and Scrum Master, the mandatory members of the Scrum team. And actually, before I jump to project management activities, one more time that the Scrum, the Agile team should be self-responsible, cross-functional, self-organizing, and I really like, and I don't be tired to repeat it one more time and one more time. If you can move a little bit, yes, zoom out, so you can see I wrote the Zombo Scrum or mechanical Scrum. I really like this. I heard a few months about this term. I really like the term mechanical Scrum or Zombo Scrum. Instead of delivering value, instead of build, encourage transparency, all those Scrum values, sometimes the team is doing Scrum because of Scrum. And this is exactly the point, that we need to focus on delivering value. We need to build the Scrum values. We need to perform in Scrum values instead of just following Scrum because of Scrum. And this comes with the incremental iterative approach. We are delivering value frequently. We are delivering value as fast as possible. And based on that, we have 3 mandatory separate roles: as Scrum Master, Product Owner, and developers, and they are working on maximizing value every iteration or sprint. So, and don't run the mechanical Scrum. The project manager is, if you can, Aina, zoom in a little bit, yeah, regarding the project management. I really like this. And so why I do like this? Because I believe that many project managers really don't understand what they need to do as a project manager. And just the last few days, I reviewed few of the open roles for the project managers, and there is nothing about what I mentioned. You know, it was just about communication. Yeah, so they were looking for some manager. They call it project manager, who is they are and expect which with the responsibilities of communication, managing communications, etc., etc. But we are here smart. We have 39 people in the call. And actually, by default, what does it mean to be a project manager, and what does the project manager do? So, first of all, if you hired as a project manager, you need to understand the framework. What the framework we are running. We are responsible for establishing processes and domains. It might be already, yeah, you might join already in the framework. You might already join in an organization where it's established already process and domains. Like my company, it's very established, very high level established. Also, we can add here maturity level. Yeah, also there is a beautiful acronym CMMI, which provide us metrics how to measure maturity in the project teams or agile teams as well. Yeah. So also we need to know what's our level of CMMI. Capability Maturity Model Institute. Integration man, and let's go through the process. So for the project manager, in the basic, in the traditional PMI approach, should take care about integration management, the project charter tool, we know, the scope management, the WBS work breakdown structure, for example, the schedule management, it's a Gantt chart, critical path method chart, whatever. Costs, we are creating budget, resources. In PMI, when we are saying resources, it's a human resources. Yeah, we are managing people. I know that all our respectful Agile community hate when we are saying resources to people, but this is the terminology comes from PMI framework. Yeah, it's PMI, nothing personal. Risk management, risk register. I really like the differences between PMI approach when we have risk register, probability impact metrics, those following the process-oriented approach for risk management, versus scaled agile framework when we are doing the risk roaming. Yeah, risk roaming. we are actually tracking risks through the 4 different levels. Yeah. Quality management, we are following the quality metrics. We are taking care about the procurement and definitely the stakeholder management and communication management. So, and this is by default. This is by default. If you are going to describe the role of the project manager, let's start with those basic levels of responsibility. Yeah, definitely. The organization might not need all of those responsibility from the project manager, yeah, but still, as as a dedicated project manager, after our workshops with Aina, you know that those are at least them, yeah. And how the organization perform, it depends, yeah. For example, scope management, we can use work breakdown structure. We are managing scope in traditional framework by PMI, by work breakdown structure. In agile ways of working, how we are managing backlog, how we are managing the scope through the backlog. Yeah, and this is exactly we are not fixing scope, and this is a huge one of the main difference between agile and traditional project management. That in agile we are not fixing scope. The scope is always reprioritizing, depends on the value, in terms of maximizing value. And we are creating backlog, and through the backlog items, doesn't matter. Features, user stories, tasks, subtasks, yeah, it depends on your ways of working, etc. We are performing within the scope. And don't forget that the project, it's a temporary endeavor, time box, time fixed. And the purpose of the project creates unique product, service, or result. And now this is from the PMI. And now also we are saying that the by project we are delivering value, yeah, value. And there are also value oriented project management. There are P2M. It's a Japan standard for project management based on the value-oriented project management, for example. Yeah. So everything around the values. And when we are saying the values, we already understand the agile ways of working when we are maximizing value. So this is this is an interesting update regarding the traditional project management roles and how it fixed within the modern world.
Yeah, thank you, Bogdan. And it's also an interesting conversation and maybe a topic for our next meeting to speak just about this update, because it's really interesting. But now we still need to focus on our 3 main roles. And we know like who we are, but we also have a different service for our team and for the organization. And just briefly, what my service for the team is as a Scrum Master is to make sure that my team is working efficient and effective. And in this case, again, I am ensuring an effective agile approach. I build motivated, focused, and engaged team. And you might wonder how I do it. So I provide workshops, I provide team building exercise. I have fun time with my team by searching for like online games and activities where people can work together. And it might feel like silly or waste of time, but sometimes you see how people are really opening during this day. And I can provide you an example. We had a very shy person, a developer, who we tried to motivate to speak up and take ownership. But I can't say we were very successful there. But then I created a game, like a pizza game, where we needed to prepare pizza and limit work in progress. So I think you know the game. If not, I will provide you the link. And during this game, this person took the ownership and started like operating with everyone and like making sure that everything is right, and like scolding people like, no, the crust is not ready yet, like, guys, you're burning pizza, please look at the time better, and etc. And we were surprised, like how a person could open up, and we never expected from him to do that. And then I realized that his hobby is cooking. And actually, when he finished coding, he goes to cook and he bakes pizza. So he really is passionate about the pizza process. And that's why it was like a natural way for him to take the ownership. And well, let's move on. Another thing I do is align on the team's progress and facilitating and leading resolution on issues and risks plugging my team. And effective and productive agile events, again, like not doing Scrum for the sake of Scrum, like Scrum ceremonies or stand-ups, and not make sure that people are updating to me. For example, I'm working on the stories 3551, and no blockers, no issues. Did it make sense for anyone here? Probably not. Did it make sense for me? Yes, if I am on a Jira board and I look at the story, maybe it makes sense, but I was sure that we really don't have blockers or restrictions. So productive agile events is what I'm accountable for as a Scrum Master. And I support my product owner in applying agile practices and techniques and achieve a healthy backlog through refinement and prioritization. And this is where the healthy tension starts between me and my product owner. And I also balance the team capacity with stakeholder demands. So that's briefly about Scrum Master. And for the sake of time, I will move on to the product owner right away. So as a product owner, I am focusing on the team and alignment by, again, applying agile practices in working with both the teams and the stakeholders. I am always available to bridge the gaps between my stakeholders and agile teams wherever each side has a question. I am here to jump in. I refine and align stakeholder requirements and expectations with the agile team, and providing focus through stack ranks prioritized product backlog. And I also support my Scrum Master, not just Scrum Master supports me. I also provide support to Scrum Master and healthy tension from my side by building a motivated, focused, and engaged team, and resolve issues and risks plugging the team, and also ensuring that we have an effective agile approach. Bogdan, I know you have something to say.
Yes, as always. And actually now, it looks like that you are presenting the Scrum Master and Product Owner roles, and I'm presenting the Project Manager role. Yeah, it's it's just occasionally. It's it's not any specific. Yeah, just randomly we are presenting some random stuff. Yeah. So definitely agree, and yeah, don't run the Zombie Scrum. Don't run the mechanical Scrum. Regarding the project management activities, so yeah, as you can see here, in service of the team, so the in case how I understand the Scrum Master, they are fully involved in the team. So it's their preliminary work job responsibility, work with the team. Yeah. Product owner, partially more focus on the prioritizing value, responsible for the backlog. So when we are saying backlog, then we are saying this the scope of work, yeah, etc. But what about the project manager? Project manager, as you remember from our previous picture, so they're responsible for based on the PMBOK, they're responsible for more than 10 separate processes, and communication and stakeholders, which is regarding to the team, regarding to human, to this soft component. It's only 2 processes instead of other 8, and plus framework, plus whole processes, etc. And actually, yeah, if we are picking those human resource management, for example, yeah, as you can see, PMI is saying that we have some established process how we are performing with the resource management. Human resource management is a plan resources, is estimate activities, acquire resources, develop them, manage them, controlling, monitoring and controlling. And obviously the stakeholders here, the stakeholders, this is the, in project management framework, this is one of the most important thing, the stakeholders. And this is the first what project manager should identify, the stakeholders, who is affects on or affected by the project, both positively or negatively. And as a stakeholder in general, the project manager itself and the team, the customer sponsor, and also, yeah, the C-level, portfolio managers, program managers, functional operational managers, business analysts, etc. So, and in conclusion on this topic, I can say one more time, in traditional project management, the team is just 2-3 processes in whole of the responsibilities, project resource management, communications, and stakeholder management. And for Scrum Master, for product owner, they are almost working with those team members.
Okay, Bogdan, would you like to switch?
Yes, and the organization, I really like, it's very good. Let's start here. Let's start with the picture from Les. So, and this is exactly, I saw it also not so far ago, and I really like this approach. And with some of my colleagues, we made a joke that, like Henry Ford, when he established the ways of working for servicemen, yeah, you know the story, yeah. So they paid only for the time when they were sitting without the work, yeah. And if they were working, so he didn't pay. And actually, I made the joke that for Scrum Masters, in couple of years, maybe sometime it might be the same. So if Scrum Master is sitting and doing nothing, it means the team is performing great. There's nothing to do to him. So, and they can have the good salary for that. Yeah, but if they are working hard, if they're jumping from meeting to meetings and doing something, it means they're, yeah, there are a lot of work, and it means, yeah, in total that they might not perform good. Yeah, kinda. So yeah, it's piece of joke, but yeah, in piece of joke there is piece of joke. And here I found my colleagues shared to me this picture, and I really like that. How to transform, it depends on the growth, that depends on the maturity, how the team is growing. Yeah, based on the time. Yeah, when we are saying time, we understand it's the level of maturity is growing, and we are starting mostly focus at the beginning on the team, on the product owner. Yeah, we are creating those one-to-ones. We are establishing the ways of working. We are creating the team charter. We are establishing ways of working. So we are establishing ceremonies. We are coaching the team members. We are building those Scrum values, etc., etc. Those, as you can see, and from the organizational aspect as well. Yeah. So this is the most important what we are doing at the beginning. Let's imagine we start a new team. But when time is running, our team is becoming more grow, and our focus is changing, to more organizational aspect, and our focus is changing more to the implementing development practices. And the less time we are spending for product owner, for teams, because the team is already mature, the team is very high mature. We don't need to actually much effort to have much effort for them, but we need to build the new additional development practices. We need to serve organization, and for the development practices, exactly what I said at the beginning, to build things fast. Yeah, and this is exactly, we are implementing new practices to increase the team's velocity. Yeah, it's about the metrics, but we are not touching metrics today. Yeah.
Bogdan, since we already touched, there is a question on the chat: how does Scrum Master manage team capacity?
Scrum Master is not so. What does it mean to manage the capacity? It's itself. So we are calculating capacity, and we are tracking those capacities. So we are not managing it. From my point of view, we are not managing the capacity itself. The capacity. It's like a mirror. Yeah, it just represents how team is performing based on its. Yeah. If maybe the question is how to calculate the capacity, but it's a little bit different. Yeah. In general, the capacity it's itself. Yeah, we are calculating the capacity. For example, if we are here in the middle, if we have some history. So yeah, the typical approach, yesterday's weather.
Yeah, maybe the question is like how to improve velocity. So yeah, it's a different topic to the conversation. Yes. Maybe you can clarify what you meant so we wouldn't get.
Okay, I don't know, we have 8 minutes. Shall we say something else on it?
Yeah, 30 seconds on the service of the organization. So to the organization as a Scrum Master, I'm servicing as a continuous improvement. So we support organization-wide improvement efforts such as DevOps, Agile transformation, metrics, etc. And I also promote agility. So these are my 2 points for the organization. As a product owner, I have 3 items. First is supporting the strategy and goals, aligning the team OKRs, sorry for the mistake, to support the organization strategy and goals. I also work on continuous improvement with my Scrum Master and promoting agility, but a bit less than Scrum Master, because for the Scrum Master, it's a main focus. My main focus is support the strategy and goals. And as a project manager, I'm in both like a science and art. So the science is systematic process of managing project work efficiently, effectively to deliver planned status. And the art of project management is relating to how a project manager uses skills such as influencing, organizing, strategizing, and other interpersonal and team skills. So you will get these slides if you request them. We also have the typical day or like 1 day out of the life of Scrum Master, product owner, and project manager. So here we can see sprint demo, retrospective. We know that it doesn't happen every day, but it's kind of like a typical, the busiest day as a Scrum Master. And we have few questions on the chat. So Bogdan, would you like to jump into the chat questions, or we also have some questions prepared for you guys? We're gonna spend
actually there is a question, but I replied by question from my side. Yeah, so when it will be more clear for me, I will cover definitely. But I have one question to you, Aina. This is the typical day, and I really like this approach. You tried to formalize. Are you really following? Can you please share your experience? I can share from my side. Probably I'm very bad Scrum Master. I'm not following this timetable, to be honest. I don't like to have boxes for frames to my performance. Yeah, I'm from the project management. I'm trying to follow this approach from science and art. Yeah, and if we do art, it means it's not really possible to have some some assigned time for some duties or responsibilities. What about you?
So I also don't like time boxes. I am such a spontaneous person, but like as a Scrum Master, sometimes I have to be a time management freak. Otherwise, there is going to be a chaos. But like I believe the most important is like to make sure that everyone is cheered and we are happy to start our day, that we are happy at work. And then basically you can see for 3 of these roles, the day is full of meeting, and that was the purpose. It's not like when the meeting starts, it's just like for the Scrum Master, we have stand-up meeting, we have retro meeting, we have networking one-on-one meetings. For the product owner, we're meeting with business for backlog, we're meeting for stakeholders, we are meeting with the team, we updating team product map, again, sometimes meeting with like few members of the team. So most of the day, like meetings, and the project manager as well, like meeting with the team, meeting with stakeholders, preparing for the meeting. So even when we are not in the meetings, we are preparing for meetings. So wherever you do it, it's like up to you guys, or like up to the organization. We have offshore team. So my day is fully packed until the lunchtime, because we need to have all of the meetings with our Indian folks. The other guys, if you work on site, maybe not that stressed in the morning, but it means like basically either we are at meetings or preparing for the meetings.
Yes, and if I may add here, so maybe we can utilize some time for this, because stand-up meetings, do really Scrum Master need to be at the stand-up meetings? We need to be smart, guys. Stand up, this is the meetings run by developers for developers. And this is the placeholder where development team can meet each other to align what they're going to do, etc., etc. So it's really, so Scrum Master could join, but they shouldn't be at the daily. The sprint demo, we have demo bi-weekly, one day sprint review or demo, however you call it, but it's all once in 2 weeks, so it's not every day. The retrospective as well, it's depends of your ways of working, but bi-weekly, if we have 2-week sprint, it's every second week we have retrospective. Lunch we might have every day, definitely the tracking system updates, definitely it should be done every day. We can utilize the daily stand-up for that, or it might be another specific assigned time, etc. And definitely reflection, strategy, finishing, etc. So so in this case, some of those, it's picked the busiest day of Scrum Master. Every second Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, and which day you have the review day, and also the planning session as well. But always, if you're part of the big organization, you also need to think which meeting you need to skip, which meeting is yours. And if it's your responsibility to run the retrospective Scrum Master, so you need some time to prepare it and to run, not just run, prepare it 2-3 times more. You're investing for this. So just we need to be smart. We need to follow the instructions and how it should be. And we feel comfortable. We should feel comfortable on it. Okay, so there is a few questions in the chat. There is a BA role in Scrum team. Maybe Aina, so we have, as you're showing us that we have some additional material, maybe we can cover it afterwards, or maybe next session, because now maybe we can utilize some time to answer for the questions. What do you think?
Let's answer the questions.
Okay, the BA role. So the BA role, it's not part of the framework. If we have classical Scrum, Agile ways of working, the Scrum framework, there is no BA role in the Scrum framework. This role, in my experience, it comes from the organization. And for example, one of the case of the business analyst role, it's a support product owner with the backlog, with the delivering value. And from my experience, each organization has its own developed and described roles and responsibilities for business analyst, but business analyst is not in the part of the Agile team. How about meetings on preparation for the meetings like demo, so that they feel more confident in the front of top management? So what does it mean, preparation for demo? It's also very deep topic, but if we are answering very quickly, so the team have 2-week sprint, and every day they are preparing for demo. So it means where is our demo? Demo in the backlog, and it's piece of what team can present. So yeah, sometimes we might have assigned meeting to prepare that, but it shouldn't be a purpose. And for example, if you're running Kanban ways of working, we don't have a mandatory review, call. So we are presenting to external stakeholders when it's done, And it happened in my experience that the team developed in 2 days some important stuff, and they presented it. They didn't wait for review 1 week, waiting for something. No, they presented, they closed it, so it means they done. And exactly, this is the term of shouldn't be mechanical Scrum, it should be delivering value frequently, incremental iterative approach. I hope I have answers for this question.
It also depends on the organizational culture. So if the culture is kind of like show off and bring in your best to this meeting, and it's not just your team which is presenting, there are other teams. So definitely everybody wants to look best because if the other team will demo everything like excellently, and we are like struggling to figuring out who is presenting like what piece. So yeah, like having the meeting to prepare for the demo can be beneficial. Also making sure that the software is running, that the environment is running, because sometimes to present, the devs need to log into different environments. So knowing all the struggles, but again, it's like specific to the organization, specific to the team. So in this case, yes, let's prepare, rehearse. So it's kind of like feeling like a theatrical performance. So we need to assign the roles, we need to rehearse and go to the top management. If it's like real, true agile environment, it's not about preparation, it's about working product. That is our main focus, and we don't have to forget, even if we show off, that the purpose is still working product, not the way we present. So in this case, and if it happens like regularly, we just come to the meeting, show what we have, and get the feedback, and move on to the next sprint.
And one more question: what percentage of cheering for the teams happen in reality?
Oh, I cheer my team every time. Every time I collaborate with them, I cheer them. I never calculated it in the percentage, but I believe they receive lots of cheering.
But cheering for what? Because of what? What the point? To be honest, I didn't. Okay.
It was for this one, cheering everyone in the morning. So it couldn't be allocated
always
time. Yeah, it's just
always like 100. Okay. The question: what percentage? 100%. I'm starting my meetings as well. It's Scrum Master, those who should bring the positive vibe to the team. Developers, some of them introverts, some of them don't want to talk, don't want to switch on cameras, etc. But Scrum Master, it doesn't matter what you were doing during whole night. It doesn't matter what mood do you have. It doesn't matter what happened in your life, but you have to switch on camera, smile, good morning, guys, how it's going, make some fun, make some joke to them, and start those conversations. From my point of view, this is part of our job. Yeah,
and also remember, when you start the meeting, if it depends on what mood you are in right now, and the mood of the audience will be a few points lower than yours. So if you are like super cheering, like watch the Tony Robbins shows, like he is extremely cheering, and he like use some exercises before, like to bring himself to this mood, because he knows that the mood of the audience is a bit lower than his. So he's trying to bring his mood to the top of the top. And if you come to the meeting and like, oh guys, I just was in a traffic jam and my morning didn't start well, I spilled the coffee on my pants, etc. Imagine like the level, the mood of your audience, and if there are like business stakeholders, and then you start talking about impediments, you won't have results.
But in this case, the experience, the project management experience might help. Why? All your risks happened, but risks from the project management and risk management theory, it's upon opportunities. It's threats versus opportunities. So I know if you made your close daughter because of coffee, you can say yes. finally, because I planned to wash it. I know 1 month ago I couldn't manage it, etc., etc., etc. But now finally I can do that, and you can share it to them. Yeah, so you can make it. It's an opportunity how to make fun, how to make some smile on it, etc. So also, yeah, it's a risk management.
Yeah,
that's why. And in yeah, please go ahead.
It's not like what you share with them, it's the way how you share it with them.
Yes.
Yeah, I spilled my coffee. Like, guys, I have such a funny story. So you see my beautiful t-shirt, but I don't wear pants just because I spilled my coffee on them, something like that. So it's fun, you're cheering people. Or like, oh gosh, I don't know about your day, but my day sucks. And it's totally different how you present it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And in conclusion, I can say in this case that it's very help to implement different pieces of framework from different framework from different situations. So, for example, to be aware what project manager is saying for that, yeah, and you can implement some part in your some processes, daily basis processes, and it really helps. Okay, how many times have PO for roadmap? It's as much as needed. Yeah, it's time of prioritization. I'm saying all of us, we have time for everything. It's just we are prioritizing. Yeah, if we're saying we don't have time for that, it means it's a less priority, and that's it. If you have time for that, it means it's high priority. So I believe if the PO need to report to management it's some crucial stuff, so it becomes a higher priority, and that's it. And they have enough time for that. If it's so far not so important, okay, it's less priority. They don't have time for that. That's very easy. This is how I can reply for this question.
Yeah, but for the product owner, the roadmap is always the highest priority. So you need to spend like as much time as you have for the roadmap, making sure that it's updated, that we are working on the right product, that the team is full for the next sprints, one sprint or few sprints, and the stakeholders are updated and the customers are waiting for our product.
Okay, great. So we have some content which we haven't covered, yeah. But please join us. Please follow us in LinkedIn, and it might be next session when we can cover it.
Yeah, and in the Discord chat again, if you have questions, there is a chat for like the discussion, like post-webinar discussion, so you can place your questions there. And I just created this community this morning because I've been asked for this in the last few months. So don't judge me, just create it. I promise I will make it better designed and figure out Discord and create more channels. But for start, I think the beauty is not that important. It's the quality of the information. So let's start building the community, raising the questions. So the updates for our future meetings are going to be published there as well. And if there is a demand, definitely we will have a part 2 and part 3 for this session, because there is lots of topics we didn't cover. We just touched the tip of the iceberg. There is lots under it. And thank you for Bogdan for keeping joining me for this lunch and learn sessions.
Yeah, thanks Aina for having me as well. Yeah, and thanks to our great people who joined. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Happy Friday. Have a great
and have a lovely weekend.
And see you next Friday.
See you.
Bye, guys.